Basic. Oh, let me turn on this. That'll help. Hello everybody, Chris over here at superiordriftgarage. Today I'm gonna try to fix a little problem that I've been having for a little bit. It's really annoying, but let me show you what's going on with that. I've purchased this over here, kind of a coolant tank off of Amazon. Because it's close to the exhaust system, I wanted something aluminum or metal perhaps, so it doesn't melt. This cap is not vented. BMW requires about 15 to 20 psi of venting when it comes to the stock coolant tank and the actual cap on it. Apparently, I don't have any venting whatsoever. The overflow, which is right here, that hose, which technically should go down, was pissing coolant everywhere. So what I decided to do, I decided to run a line all the way back and inside into the coolant tank as a solution. The coolant was leaking in certain areas where it was pretty much crappy. Chose a clear see-through hose so I can see if there's any coolant going in and out into the engine or whichever way, just to make sure I can keep an eye on it. My second solution was I researched and I found a little like a venting, it's a vent valve basically. You can set it between 10 and 100 psi. So this is what it is. I bought that from Amazon as well. Well, apparently that venting valve, it does work. It does release the pressure, but when it releases the pressure, also it releases the coolant. After the last test drive, there was coolant pretty much everywhere, and I don't like anything leaking out of my car. So what I'm going to do, we're going to somehow use this Volkswagen Audi coolant tank I had sitting for a while, and I will make it work with this somehow with this car and make sure everything works the way it should. How will I do it? I have no idea. So let's take a look. There's coolant in it right now. I will try to somehow remove the tank without actually spilling any coolant. So in order to mount my new coolant tank, as we may call it a new coolant tank, I found a piece of bracket out of an old air dryer or something like that. I will try to use that to mount for mounting point, and this piece of metal as a reinforcement, and bend it around the actual coolant tank in order for everything to work pretty well. So we get the line off. Of course, it's pissing coolant everywhere. It's typical. So now the tricky part. It's see, it's pissing out of everywhere. That's not good. Let's get this tight. Okay. So that was my adapter that I made, that was temporary solution, so I can see through, and because there is really no way to actually see how much coolant is in here. Anyway. That's out. Alright, so my hose is technically extended. Looks pretty much OEM-ish. Nah. So my mounting basically has to go into this bracket. So what's going to happen, this bracket mounts to the bottom. Now the height of the coolant tank versus my bracket. My mounting point, my smaller mounting point, so I can drill the extension to actually grab both sides of the coolant tank. Let's fit this here, so it has to stay like that. Okay, good. This bracket will nicely mount over here. It will be height adjustable, so we will know for the perfect height, to set up the perfect height, and that's where the coolant tank will mount to. So to this bracket, we're gonna install this bracket. Perfect, wow. Access isn't the best for those bolts, but then again, what's accessible in a BMW?
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Got the zip tie out of here. Things are falling apart. Let's get the release wheel. Great job, right? What a dumbass. Well, so my pouring of the coolant from one tank to the other kind of failed, but that's nothing to worry about. That's why we got floors, we can clean them up, and it's not a problem. Managed to basically get a shape going around the tank. So now I just have to mark where I'm going to drill a hole for mounting. So what this will do, it will reinforce the bracket from basically floating around under load when it's a little bit heavier than what it is right now. So apparently I have ran out of time to actually finish that bracket, so that will be finished a little bit later. I will do some initial testing. The tank seems to be stiff and doesn't really want to go anywhere. It shakes, but it shakes because of this bracket over here. Welcome back, my friends. Day number 2 of this project to just change the stupid coolant tank, simply because I ran out of time and I ran into trouble. When I took this coolant tank off of the Passat that it's a donor from, it was perfect, there was no cracks, nothing, no issues. Well, it turns out, once everything got installed, at the end of the day, I actually made the bracket too to support it so it's nice and sturdy. Turns out there's a crack. It was leaking coolant right out of this area big time. So the only way I could actually fix this problem at the time was to JB weld it. I JB welded the hell out of it, left it on the car, and came back today basically to see what's going on. So the plan right now is to add coolant to the tank and start the car. See. What we are using is a European vehicle formula, which is blue. Most likely when we start running events, I will put water in here, just to make sure even if we have some spillage or anything, it doesn't cause any bull crap on the track. It's safer for everybody. So far, I don't see any leaks, which is pretty much bloody fantastic. The only other thing is, let's start the car. Alright, so the car has been running for quite a few minutes. It's up to temperature, responsive, so that means the ECU is doing what it's supposed to do. Now let's go check for the coolant leaks. Alright, let's take a look. So we currently have no leaks coming out of the places that I actually JB welded, which is beautiful. So that means JB weld does work. So there you have it. Car's running great. We have no coolant leaks, even though I had to JB weld the actual coolant tank, which is not a fun thing to do. It works. So do not get yourself one of those. Do not buy one. Save your money for something better. Do more research. I should have done more research probably. This coolant tank does not have a vented cap. If it doesn't have a vented cap, it will not let all the excessive moisture, gases, whatever you want to call it, out anywhere, which will cause substantial pressure, which that pressure could destroy one of your hoses. Wherever is the weakest point, they will just burst and you will lose coolant. And that's not something you want to do, especially when you're on the track racing, going fast and having fun. This is not fun. One more to tell you guys, it works. There's more things coming up to the car. I started stripping more of the interior. We'll be pulling the dash because we're going to have a cage installed very soon. Trying to save as much money as possible for that. Other than that, like, share and subscribe. There's more things coming. Whole drift season is ahead of us. We'll be working on the car, ripping it apart, changing things, making things better, and hopefully smoking a lot of tires. So that's all I got for you this week. Hopefully, well, maybe I can find some other content to record. But anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, do not buy this. Go with an old Audi, Volkswagen Audi coolant tank, which works perfectly actually. Just gotta come up with a nice bracket. So thanks for watching again. See you guys later.